I'd like to begin by expressing my gratitude for this great opportunity. It was an amazing collection that came in, 393 pieces to be exact, and it was a daunting challenge for me to pare it down to 25 to 40. I think there's 40 pieces total that were included, which was, like I said, rather difficult to get it down to that number. Some of the pieces, a couple of them are quite large, so I had to think about scale and what was going to fit appropriately in the space. Mostly though, I was looking at quality of work, use of medium, which can be difficult in looking at digital images. I think I found that probably the most challenging in the process. I tend to prefer looking at actual work over digital images to get a truer content of what the artist is trying to express. So I hope I've achieved what's a good exhibition that really shows the diversity in the state, because it is incredibly impressive. So, Hester, if you have any questions of me?
What were you looking specifically for in the pieces?
As mentioned, I think mastery of medium, that people were really confident in expressing themselves in their chosen medium. Presentation was important. There was one piece in general that it was a wood three-dimensional piece, cedar, and the way it was presented was just held in a man's hands. And at first I had to take a look back at the list of medium to know if I was looking at a finished photograph being presented or a three-dimensional piece. And I was actually quite happily pleased to know that it was a three-dimensional object. It was called Bird Form 2, if I remember correctly. And I think it really made it special the way the piece was so carefully being cradled in these hands. It appeared to me that the artist really cared and wanted to convey a sensitivity. I later learned from the statement that the artist was also interested in Indigenous people, which I also too thought was very profound in how carefully that piece was being cradled. And there were many pieces that I think portray that. So also being able to get a greater understanding of what the artist was trying to convey, maybe what their experiences were that they brought into the piece.
So storytelling is important to you?
Storytelling, yes. Being able to look at something and ask, why did the artist choose that subject matter? Why did they choose that particular medium?
We saw that there was quite a few photographs presented.
Yes.
Is that a special spot in your heart?
I was actually surprised at how many photographs I did choose to include. My background is in painting and drawing. It's what I feel the most comfortable with. But I do love photography. I love all mediums, but for some reason I felt there was something really unique that was portrayed in each piece.
Tell us a little bit about Imogen Gallery.
Imogen is almost coming up on its 5th anniversary. I opened August 2012. And it's something that I think a long time ago when I first got out of art school with my own art degree, I thought about eventually having my own gallery. After working for years in nonprofit and for-profit venues, I realized I really didn't want to work that hard because it's a tremendous commitment by anybody, whether it's nonprofit or not, to manage such an entity. This space came available, and it's really, I think, the charm of the space that made me decide to jump into it. And also be able to share what's really unique about Astoria in a venue like this. Not all of my artists are from Astoria, definitely regional to the Northwest, and I like even exploring a broader diversity. I've got one artist who comes from Greece, who's been working here in Astoria for 7 years now. Another artist that was raised here in Astoria that now lives in Berlin. And that kind of reflects what Astoria is about too. There's a great coming and going, being near the river that flows to the ocean, to a broader world.
Okay, thank you.
Absolutely.